Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all, my dear students? I hope you all are fine and safe at home and enjoying your studies. So, my dear students, as you all know, we are doing FA2 revision of English subject, right? So, in previous lecture, we have started revision of lesson number 3, A Day in the Jungle. We are doing revision of reading session from your textbook. So, my dear students, first I will read what we have revised in our previous lecture. So, students, those who have missed previous video or those maybe who forget, they can continue with today's lesson. Okay, let's begin. So, I put the same quote because today you all are going to message me this quote on my number. Confidence comes not from always being right, but from not fearing to be wrong. Confidence comes not from always being right, but from not fearing to be wrong. I already explained you this quote, so today you are going to message me the meaning of this quote. Okay? So let's read. Lesson number 3, A Day in the Jungle. A Day in the Jungle. So first I will read the session which we have completed in our previous lecture. Then I will read slowly. Okay, let's start. Reading. Read this story to find out what Jaya and Varun see when they go on a jungle safari with their parents. The children were very excited. Early in the morning, they woke up to the chirping of the birds. Before the sun's rays could peep in through the treetops, they had taken their seats in the jeep. This was their first visit to the jungle with their parents. A forest guide who knew the jungle well also accompanied them. Now let's see the next image. Welcome to Mukta Wildlife Sanctuary, said the guide. You will see lots of animals and birds here. And if you are lucky, you may even spot a tiger. Look, said the guide, pointing to something moving under a bush. They peered down and saw a porcupine. It bristled its quills. Wow, said Jaya, pointing to the spines. Those look like they would really hurt. They drove on, enjoying the overhead canopy of trees and gentle bumps on the road. Up ahead, a few spotted deer were crossing the road. When they went closer, the deer seemed to have disappeared. Now, let's move to the next image. Where did they go? Asked Varun. They are still here. They are camouflaged, said the guide. What is camouflage? Asked Jaya. It is a special way of hiding by animals, especially when they sense danger. The colors or patterns on their bodies often help them to merge with their natural surroundings. It then becomes difficult to spot them, explained the guide. You cannot see the spotted deer because its brown skin and white spots have merged with the trunks of the trees. The guide was looking through his binoculars when he froze. He stared hard. Then he pointed to a tree in the distance. A leopard, he said in a low voice, and it has a kill on the tree. Now let's read meanings. Peered, looked carefully. Bristled, the quills stood upright. Quills, thin, sharp spines on a porcupine's body. Canopy, branches and leaves of trees that form a cover high above the ground. Merge, become mixed so that the difference cannot be noticed. Kill, an animal killed. So my dear students, in previous lecture we have revised till here. So now let's begin with our today's reading session. So it starts with this image. So let's begin with here. Everyone looked through the binoculars one by one. Sure enough, a majestic leopard stared back at them. What is the keel? Why is it up on a tree? Asked Varun. It's a deer, replied the guide. The leopard has carried it up so that it won't be snatched away by a tiger or a hyena. Climbing a tree is a very special ability, said the children's mother. It takes strong legs to go up and a strong tail to help balance on the tree. Unlike leopards, tigers and lions find it difficult to climb trees because of their weight and large size. So, let's move to the next page, to the next image. Let's see. They watched the leopard till it was time to move on and leave the big cat alone. They drove they drove through the woodlands, through the woodlands and crossed a river, and crossed a river. There was, there was tall grass, tall grass ahead of them, ahead of them. As they took, as they took the narrow road through it, they caught sight of, they caught sight of a rhinoceros and a calf, a rhinoceros and a calf running into the thicket, running into the thicket. Now, it's whose turn to read? Yes, it's your turn to read. It's a student's turn to read. So now you all will read with me. Okay? They watched the leopard till it was time to move on and leave the big cat alone. They drove through the woodlands and crossed a river. There was tall grass ahead of them. As they took the narrow road through it, they caught sight of a rhinoceros and a calf running into the thicket. Now, meanings. Woodlands, an area of land filled with trees. An area of land filled with trees. Calf, here, the young one of a rhino. The young one of a rhino. Thicket, a group of trees. Thicket, a group of trees or bushes growing close together, growing close together. Now it's students' turn to read. So now you all will read with me. Woodlands, an area of land filled with trees. Calf, here means in this lesson, the young one of a rhino. Thicket, a group of trees or bushes growing close together. Now let's move to the next slide, that is the next image of your textbook. Who can tell me what's special about the rhinoceros? Who can tell me what's special about the rhinoceros? Asked the children's father. Asked the children's father. The hard skin, said Varun. The hard skin, said Varun. And the horn, said Jaya. And the horn, said Jaya. It is the rhino's very own dagger. It is the rhino's very own dagger to fight with. To fight with. Very good, said father. Very good, said father. Let's climb up and sit on the mccann. Let's climb up and sit on the mccann, said the guide. Said the guide. Now, let's move to the next image. From the mccann, they watched langurs on the treetops. Langurs on the treetops. There were many birds around too. There were many birds around too. Then they drove further into the woods. Then they drove further into the woods and approached a hut. And approached a hut. It belonged to a ranger. It belonged to a ranger. The guide asked the ranger, any calls? Any calls? They spoke for a while. They spoke for a while and then took off in the direction the ranger had pointed. In the direction the ranger had pointed. Animal sounds could be heard at a distance. Animal sounds could be heard at a distance. What's happening? Asked Jaya. What's happening? Asked Jaya. Her mother explained that the animals call out in alarm when they sense danger. The guide was trying to track down a tiger by listening to the animal's calls. Now let's move to the next image. That is, the forest was very quiet. The forest was very quiet and no pug marks were visible. Suddenly there was an alarm call by a langur, followed by a sambar's below. The tiger was returning to its meal. The other animals scattered. A tigress appeared along with her two adorable cubs. Now let's read meanings. Dagger, a small sword. mccann, A platform that is built in a tree. Mccann, a platform that is built in a tree. Alarm, alarm, here an awareness of danger. An awareness of danger. Track down, follow. Track down, follow. Bug marks means here in the lesson footprints of a tiger. Footprints of a tiger. Sambar, a dark brown deer. A dark brown deer with branched antlers. With branched antlers. Below, a deep sound made by an animal. Made by an animal. So, my dear students, it's your turn to read. Now, you all are going to read with me these meanings. Okay? So, let's begin. Dagger, a small sword. Mccann, a platform that is built in a tree. Alarm, an awareness of danger. Track down, follow. Pug marks, here footprints of a tiger. Sambar, a dark brown deer with branched antlers. Below, a deep sound made by an animal. Now, let's move to the next slide or the image of your textbook. Let's see. The children excitedly watched. The children excitedly watched from a distance as the cubs fed and frolicked. As the cubs fed and frolicked around their mother. Around their mother. The guide explained, the tigers are known for their power and strength. They can even kill animals twice their size. Even kill animals twice their size. Jaya thought for a moment. Jaya thought for a moment and then said, Mother, unlike animals, humans do not have fangs. Humans do not have fangs, claws or horns, nor can we camouflage. Our skin is soft. So, what is special about us? What is special about us? Mother smiled. We humans have remarkable intelligence. We humans have remarkable intelligence. With it, not only can we protect ourselves, but also but also help our animal friends. Help our animal friends. How true, how true, said the children, as they headed back happily. As they headed back happily. Daddy, shall we come back here? Daddy, shall we come back here for our next summer vacation? For our next summer vacation? Asked Varun. Asked Varun. Sure, sure. You seem to have read my mind. Have read my mind. He smiled. He smiled. Now let's read the meanings. Frolicked. Played about happily. Frolicked. Played about happily. Have read my mind. Have read my mind means here in the lesson have got to know what I am thinking about. Have got to know what I am thinking about. Now it's whose turn to read? Yes, it's students' turn to read. Your turn to read. So now you all are going to read with me, okay? The children excitedly watched from a distance as the cubs fed and frolicked around their mother. Around their mother. The guide explained, the tigers are known for their power and strength. They can even kill animals twice their size. Jaya thought for a moment and then said, Mother, unlike animals, humans do not have fangs, claws, or horns, nor can we camouflage. Our skin is soft. So, what is special about us? Mother smiled. We humans have remarkable intelligence. With it, not only can we protect ourselves, but also help our animal friends. How true, said the children as they headed back happily. Daddy, shall we come back here for our next summer vacation? Asked Varun. Sure, you seem to have read my mind, he smiled. Frolicked, played about happily. Have read my mind means here have got to know what I am thinking about. So, my dear students, this is the end of our today's session. We will meet in our next session with the new topic. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye bye.